If there's one thing that Oxenfree II, Lost Signals teaches us, it's that some echoes never truly fade away. This much-anticipated sequel from Night School Studio continues to unravel the mysteries of supernatural forces, time loops, and haunted radio frequencies in a way that will feel both familiar and fresh to fans of the original. However, while Oxenfree II revisits many of the elements that made its predecessor a cult classic, it also struggles under the weight of its own legacy. Set 5 years after the events of the first game, Oxenfree II introduces us to a new protagonist, Riley, a 30-something environmental researcher who returns to her hometown of Camena for a job that involves investigating strange radio signals. The story is steeped in themes of nostalgia, grief, and the inescapability of the past. The game expertly uses its eerie setting to create a sense of unease, drawing players into a world where reality seems as unstable as the radio signals Riley is tasked with monitoring. One of the game's strengths lies in its storytelling, particularly in how it allows players to explore the narrative through dialogue choices that feel organic and impactful. The walk and talk mechanic, which was a standout feature in the first game, returns with even more polish. Riley's conversations with her companion, Jacob, and other characters via walkie-talkie are rich with personality, and the dialogue system, though slightly more relaxed compared to the first game, still manages to convey the tension and stakes of their situation. Visually, Oxenfree II is a masterpiece of minimalist design. The game retains the 2.5D side-scrolling perspective of its predecessor, but with more refined visuals that enhance the creepy yet beautiful environments. The Pacific Northwest setting is brought to life with moody color palettes and atmospheric lighting that perfectly complement the game's unsettling tone. The characters, rendered in a simple yet expressive art style, move through these environments with a sense of weight and presence that adds to the immersion. The audio design is another highlight. The game's use of radio static, eerie sound effects, and a haunting score by SCNTFC, who also composed the soundtrack for the original Oxenfree, works to keep players on edge. The way the game blends these elements into the narrative, especially through the use of the radio and walkie-talkie mechanics, is nothing short of brilliant. Tuning into various frequencies to uncover hidden messages or eerie broadcasts adds layers to the storytelling and deepens the sense of mystery. Where Oxenfree II truly shines is in its ability to create a sense of place and atmosphere through its gameplay. The core mechanics revolve around exploration, dialogue, and puzzle solving, with the radio being central to many of the game's challenges. However, while these elements are well executed, they may not be enough to sustain every player's interest throughout the entire game. One of the major criticisms of Oxenfree II is that it can feel a bit repetitive. The game's pace is deliberate, which works well for building tension, but can also lead to moments where it drags, especially if you're not fully invested in the characters or the mystery. The new walkie-talkie feature, while innovative, doesn't always live up to its potential. There are times when it feels underutilized, and some players might find the lack of consistent interaction with it disappointing. Moreover, while the game's narrative is compelling, it doesn't always hit the emotional highs of the original. The character development, particularly for Riley, has been criticized for being somewhat shallow. Some of her interactions can feel forced or repetitive, and it's only in the final act that the story truly comes together in a satisfying way. Oxenfree II: Lost Signals is a game that will resonate deeply with fans of the original. It's a haunting, atmospheric journey that delves into the supernatural with style and sophistication. The game's strengths lie in its storytelling, visuals, and audio design, all of which work together to create an experience that is both eerie and compelling. However, it's not without its flaws. The pacing can be uneven, and the new mechanics, while interesting, don't always add as much to the experience as they could have. For newcomers to the series, Oxenfree II might not have the same impact as the first game, but for those who fell in love with the original, it's a sequel that, despite its imperfections, is worth tuning into. At GameVault HQ, we give Oxenfree II: Lost Signals a score of 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid sequel that, despite some static, delivers a haunting and memorable experience. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more game reviews, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Oxenfree II. Have you played it? Did it live up to your expectations? We'd love to hear from you. See you all next time, and happy gaming.